Hey people, this is a quick look at the 1.15.2 update which hit yesterday. And obviously they did a lot of stuff with this patch. A lot of stuff. And I mean there is so much quality of life that you can't even believe it. So first things first, they introduced the career specialization to the progression screen. And looks something like this. With pretty much nothing interesting to see until you click and you get to this. The specialization, which is amazingly glorious. Like for instance, they recommend you to get a quick draw and marathon man on your assault guy. Best setup EU. Don't worry about it. Reto knows best. Now the other three infantry specializations are actually not that bad, but like the commander for every class is just fucking awful. Like for instance, if I go to Air Force Commander, they recommend me Charismatic Leader and Battlefield Commander. Now, you can imagine that getting these is quite impossible, because with Pilot you don't really capture objectives very much. Yeah, this is very useful, and especially when the planes are almost always in queue. Great setup. 10 out of 10. Now, most of the other ones are not as terrible, like at least they recommend you at least one actually good badge, so I'm not gonna nag about that, but you know, the paratroopers are kind of important. Now they recommend Hoarder and Combat Medic badge. Now everything would be fine if you had 7 equipment points on paratrooper, but you don't, and that means that you can have this setup unless you know that you can get to 0 pouches, which new players are obviously not gonna know, and this is geared at the new player. It's especially bad since both the Axis and the US paratroopers are not gonna have much bullets, which makes this setup kinda stupid. Great. Good guiding of new players, I approve. So let's move on to some bug fixes, which don't matter, probably, unless we broke something, I don't know. Anyway, there's new effects and performance optimizations. Look at those, interesting, very interesting. Let's look at them in game instead. I basically tested the smoke effects with the biggest smoke producing gun, the Peter S. And I could say that yeah, it smokes way less, and actually I think Peter S is kinda better now because of it, especially since you can just spam the shit out of it. Oh, I say a little bit more, like in CQC still gonna be a bit of a pain in the ass. Now the second thing they introduced is the new explosions. They basically look nice and a little bit more like fireworks, which is a bit weird, but I mean, it looks good. And there's also new tracer effects. Wait, what? Are we Star Wars now? I think I've been going about this video wrong. Well, jokes aside, it's kinda hilarious to see this in action. Maybe all the red Soviet clans should be renamed to, like, for instance, Green Alert, Green Scare, Order of the Green Banner, and so on. But hey, they wanted it in the game, so I guess it's cool. Which is especially interesting looking on the tanks. And it pretty much looks like Star Wars, I'll be frank. There's basically new effects for when you penetrate the tank or when you don't penetrate the tank. They look pretty cool. Good job, Reto. For once. Moving on. If you exit the vehicle, which is moving at a high speed, you can no longer die. I'm pretty sure I can break that eventually. And the last thing they did was add 3 new skins. Look at this shit. I mean, they're fucking red. And they're up in the sky. So they're gonna be so visible. And they're so expensive that I don't really have a clue why they even bothered with this. Now at this point you probably want me to rate this update. Well, I give it a out of 10, because how rich in features and new things this update is. Thank you all for watching, and thank you Reto for making this glorious game. See you in the next one.